While most of the world debates artificial intelligence, space missions and the future of humanity in 2026, Afghanistan is fighting a battle that should have been left in the past century: the right of a girl to exist as a human being. Taliban's Afghanistan today feels like a nation trapped in reverse. Every few months brings a new decree, a new restriction, a new reminder that freedom is being dismantled piece by piece. Girls are pushed out of classrooms, women are erased from public life, and now even silence can be twisted into consent under laws surrounding child marriage. The Taliban have now issued a new family law regulation that recognizes marriages involving minors as legally valid under certain conditions. The law also states that children can seek annulment after reaching puberty, but only through a religious court order controlled by the Taliban. The regulation, titled Principles of Separation Between Spouses, was published in the Taliban's official gazette after approval by Taliban Supreme Leader Haibatullah Akhundzada. The document contains 31 articles and lays out rules governing marriage, divorce, religious disputes, child marriage, missing husbands, apostasy, forced separation, breastfeeding relations, and even accusations of adultery. The center of the controversy is Taliban's interpretation of Khiyar al-Bulugh, or the option upon puberty. This is a concept from Islamic jurisprudence which allows a child who was married at a young age to seek annulment after reaching puberty. But the Taliban's version of this law comes with strict conditions. Article 5 states that if a minor, whether a boy or a girl, is married off by relatives other than the father or grandfather, the marriage will still be considered legally valid as long as the spouse is considered socially compatible and the dowry is deemed appropriate. The child can later request annulment after reaching puberty, but only through a court order. In other words, the child does not automatically gain freedom from the marriage. They must appeal to a Taliban-led religious court. The law further states that marriages involving a non-compatible spouse or an unfair dowry can be considered invalid. However, the regulation also gives fathers and grandfathers broad authority over child marriages and reinforces the power of male guardians in family decisions. The law says a marriage may only be invalidated if a guardian is found to be abusive, mentally unfit, or morally corrupt. Another deeply controversial section is Article 7. This article states that the silence of a virgin girl after reaching puberty may be interpreted as consent to marriage, but the same rule does not apply to boys or previously married women. Their silence cannot automatically be treated as consent. Critics say this effectively allows child marriages to take place without clear or explicit approval from young girls, many of whom may be too afraid, pressured, or powerless to speak. Another section deals with breastfeeding relations, a rule in Islamic jurisprudence which considers children breastfed by the same woman as religious siblings who cannot marry each other. If such a relationship is discovered between a husband and wife, Taliban judges may order the marriage to be dissolved. This comes as the Taliban continue with their wider crackdown on women and girls since returning to power in August 2021. Girls have been barred from education beyond the 6th grade. Women have been banned from universities. Restrictions have been imposed on women's employment, movement, public appearance, and participation in society. The United Nations has repeatedly condemned these actions, calling them systematic violations of fundamental human rights. Human rights groups now warn that the Taliban are not just enforcing social restrictions, they are formally codifying hardline interpretations of religious law into the legal system itself. Millions of Afghan women and girls are slowly losing their right to choose their own future, the right to study, the right to work, the right to speak, the right to say no, the right to exist in public life with dignity, without fear and without permission. As the world moves forward, many in Afghanistan fear their country is being pushed back deeper into the dark era.